Sandcastle Waterpark is an indoor water park in Blackpool, England. This is not to be confused with the water park of the same name near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The UK Sandcastle is a solid park, and it's worth visiting if you're in the area, and I will explain why in this review. For decades, the South Shore open-air baths was a popular destination, but by the 1980s, its popularity had waned. People no longer found it particularly pleasant to be swimming outdoors in England's less than warm climate. These were demolished in 1983. It would be replaced in 1986 by Sandcastle Indoor Water Park. This would be the UK's first water park, and a handful of other indoor water parks popped up across the country in the following years. For years, Sandcastle was operated by the Blackpool Council. They were the ones that added a majority of the park's current attractions. But in 2022, Merlin began operating the property. And this place definitely catches your eye from the outside. It is a big building with a few slides popping out, and those slides have vibrant, multicolored paint schemes. Then there's also a giant video billboard showcasing the attractions. Before I go any further, I need to mention that I am limited as to how much footage I have available for this review. Sandcastle is a strict no-camera policy anywhere inside the water park itself. This included both on and off-ride, and this is tightly enforced. There was one point where a family was taking selfies of themselves, and employees approached them to stop. Sandcastle is located next to the beach, just off of Blackpool's Promenade. It is next to South Pier and across the street from Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I was mainly in the area for the latter, but Sandcastle's hours made it possible to do both in one day. During the summer months, Sandcastle is often open 1 hour before Blackpool Pleasure Beach and stays open 1 hour later. Hours vary by day and season, so definitely check the website in advance of your visit. Unlike most parks that sell admission for a full day, Sandcastle sells 3-hour time slots. These cost £25 or $33 per person. Then they also offer a last splash ticket valid for the last 2 hours. This saves you 40% and costs just £15 per person. You should definitely book your time slots in advance. One day before my visit on a summer Saturday, there were only a few time slots available, so I was lucky I was even able to visit. Sandcastle offers time slots every half hour. I strongly recommend booking the first time slot. This was one of the few times available, and it worked to my advantage. It will have the lightest crowds because there will be the fewest people inside the park. During that first half hour, I was able to walk onto every single slide. Crowds doubled once the next session started at 9:30, and as I left just after 10, even more people were filtering in. Another benefit to arriving early is that parking will be easier to find. You can park in the nearby streets for no cost, but during the day, you are limited to just 2 to 3 hours unless you visit on Sunday. I believe there are some streets that are a 15-20 minute walk away that allow all-day parking for free, but I haven't looked too deeply into that. That's what I heard from locals. Alternatively, there is a modest-sized parking lot adjacent to the park. I noticed this was filled midday though, so again, arriving early is helpful. This costs £3.50 for 3 hours, £10 for 12 hours, or £11 for 18 hours. If you plan to visit Blackpool Pleasure Beach, this is half the price of that park slot. Then if you're utilizing public transit, you have both the Blackpool North and Blackpool South train stations connecting you to the rest of the country. Once inside, the lobby reminded me of a rainforest cafe. There was a waterfall, some tropical-themed structures, and nicely painted walls. There also was an arcade off to the side that can be accessed without entering the park. Everyone must proceed to the ticket booth to redeem their time slot. You are given a wristband for admission. You can also purchase a locker. This costs £3 to £4, which is way cheaper than the water parks I'm used to in the US. And even better, most of that is refunded when you exit. The lockers are quite large and accessed via a wristband. Once inside the water park itself, I was surprised just how nice the atmosphere was. There is a skylight to let in natural light, but I did have the usual grey English skies for much of my visit, so there wasn't too much sun. The park thankfully has auxiliary lighting available though. Then the walls are painted with different sky scenes. It gave the park some nice color. I also like how multiple slides and walkways have some rock work as well. The slides are mostly located on the perimeter, which is what a lot of indoor water parks do. It can be a tad tricky to find the entrance to a few slides because of this, particularly Master Blaster, but you eventually will find everything if you walk along the edge of the building. The center area is filled with all sorts of pools and lounge areas. The park is kept at a balmy 84 degrees Fahrenheit, which means it's comfortable water slide weather year-round. One weird thing about the water though, it is excessively soapy. I'm used to most water parks, especially indoor ones, using a boatload of chlorine. This is invisible, but at Sandcastle, you visibly see pools foaming with soap, and when you come out of those pools, you're covered in suds. So I strongly recommend keeping your eyes closed whenever you hit a splashdown pool or go underwater. You also need to be really careful exiting a slide or pool because the ground is super slippery. Now let's move on to the slide lineup. It is decent in size for an indoor water park, and it covers the key genres. It's worth noting that all slides here allow solo riders if you're coming alone or of an odd-numbered group. The best slide here is Sidewinder. This is a half-pipe slide. The initial drop is quite steep, so you get a pinch of airtime over the top, and then good zip going down. What makes it even better is that the employees lackadaisically release you, so you often spin going over the crest. Taking that drop sideways or backwards is fantastic. The subsequent rocks are fun, but nothing spectacular. You ride this attraction for the initial drop, and what a drop it is. The most unique slide here is Master Blaster. This is a lengthy water coaster circling the entire park. Much of the layout is on the milder side because there aren't too many tall drops. But since you ride this one solo, your tube may spin during the uphill water jets. Then there's a really good drop at the end that offers nice floater, especially since it catches you off guard after the relatively tame course that precedes it. Aztec Falls is a fully enclosed tube bowl slide. You have some slow turns at the start and near total darkness, which builds up a lot of anticipation for the drop. Then you have a long, shallow plunge building up a lot of speed. This leads to an enjoyable bowl section with light panels and flashing lights in the walls. Montezuma is a fast-paced mat slide. There are no notable drops, but a few of the swooping turns offer some force, and you never slow down. This one does not race like most mat slides. It's a standalone attraction. This park also has a Dueling Dragons. This is not a B&M invert. Rather, it's an interesting speed slide. It consists of a super tight downward spiral. I think the entry may even be too tight because your body will be slammed around. It didn't hurt because you're not going fast enough yet. It was just awkward. You build up a lot of speed after that though. And the final turn is nice G's. Then when I hit the splashdown pool, I was super dizzy and disoriented. This slide is short but wild. The final major slide is Thunder Falls. These are body slides, but I would recommend skipping them. The course is awkwardly slow, and I kept stalling out. I would have to sit up and manually push myself forwards. It is also uncomfortable because you feel every single joint between all the slide pieces. For kids, there are 4 different water play structures available with small slides and sprayers. I was impressed this many were offered. Most parks offer just 1 or 2 at most. Then as with most water parks, there is also a wave pool and a lazy river circling a chunk of the park. Operations were solid. The attendants would have the next slide ready to go once the prior guest hit the splashdown pool. This kept the minimal lines moving. I cannot really compare this to the other UK water parks because this is the only one I have visited. I can compare it to the US water parks I've been to though, and in general, it felt pretty similar from an operations standpoint. There were employees at the top and bottom of most slides. Compare that to the water parks I've been to in mainland Europe. A lot of water slides there are self-regulated at the top with a green light red light system, no employee, and there is not always a lifeguard at the bottom of the slides either. As I noted at the start, I took advantage of the first time slot available, and nearly everything was a walk-on. Once the second time slot entered, 2 slides started to build up waits for me, Master Blaster and Aztec Falls. This makes sense because they are 2 popular slide types and they have a longer duration than the others, so I would definitely prioritize these 2 slides as early as possible. The benefit with them capping admission is that the slide lines theoretically should not become too prohibitive. I suspect you can comfortably do everything in a 3-hour session, even with this park's max crowds. If you're looking for food during your visit, there are 2 eateries inside the park. However, I would advise eating before or after your visit. This is mainly because of how your admission is timed, so it's better to devote your available time to the attractions, not eating. Plus, there are several nice eateries outside the park a short walk away. So do I recommend Sandcastle? This is a solid indoor water park. You have a water coaster, a thrilling half-pipe slide, and a few other slides worth trying. Then the park pairs that with a nice atmosphere, and if you take advantage of the early time slot like I did, you basically have a half hour of ERT when everything is a walk-on. So I had a really nice time. I don't think this is a must-visit if you're on an amusement park tour through the UK, but it's incredibly convenient to pair with the nearby Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and because of how this park usually has a longer opening day, you can easily visit this park without sacrificing any time at Pleasure Beach. And if you want a water park, this looks to be one of the better options in the UK. So those are my thoughts on the Sandcastle Indoor Water Park in Blackpool, England. What are your thoughts about this park? Have you been there? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.